You have to face a hard truth. No truthful.